Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Surah Inshiqaq. Central theme and relationship with the preceding surah. There exists an obvious meaningful relationship between this surah and the previous one, which is Surah Mutaffifin. Just as the rejectors of reward and punishment are warned in the previous surah, they are cautioned and prodded in this surah too. It was stated in the previous surah that a day will definitely come when the Almighty will divide people in separate groups on the basis of their faiths and deeds. Those who had remained obedient to Him and were pious would be blessed with an eternal kingdom. On the other hand, those who remained defiant and disobedient to Him will face eternal humiliation. This surah also mentions that people will be divided into two groups. One of them will be handed over their accounts in their right hands, and they will receive eternal success. And the other will be handed over their accounts from behind into their left hands, and they will face everlasting disgrace. Both surahs address the affluent and wealthy sections of the society who were caught in the notion that there will be no day of reward and punishment in the first place, and if it ever comes, they will be recipients of honor and status on that day, just as they are blessed with them in this world. They are told that man's nature is not devoid of the awareness of justice, and the Almighty has not made this world without a purpose. Therefore, it is essential that a day come in which the righteous are sorted out from the wrongdoers. On that day, those who lead their lives whilst ignoring this obvious reality will be doomed. The basis of reasoning in the previous surah is human nature, as is explained in its tafsir, and in this surah, this reasoning is based on certain signs of the physical world. Analysis of the discourse. Section 1, verses 1 to 5. A brief mention of the cataclysm that will take place in the heavens and in the earth at the advent of the day of judgment, and an explanation of the fact that on that day neither the heavens will dare disobey the Almighty nor the earth. Both will obey their Lord without any hesitation whatsoever, and this attitude is but befitting for them. When God has created them, it is their obligation towards Him to obey Him. Section 2, verses 6 to 15. Man is rebuked that he is being relentlessly pulled to encounter his Almighty and meet His fate. On that day, people whose account is given in their right hands will have an easy reckoning and will happily meet their people. However, those who regard this world to be their real destination and led a life of indifference to their actual destination will be in trouble. They will be handed down their accounts from behind. At every step, they will be faced with doom and perdition. Section 3, verses 16 to 21. Evidence is presented from some physical phenomena of this world to show that everything in this world progresses gradually and everything at all times is in the grasp of God. Man too is gradually moving forward to meet his Lord, and one day he will have to face Him. If he is not accepting this verdict of the Qur'an, then it is only his own foolishness. Section number 4, verses 22 to 25. People who are adamant in rejecting the Qur'an are warned that those who have embraced faith and are doing righteous deeds after affirming the warnings of the Qur'an are given glad tidings. Text of the surah.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا السماء انشقت وأذنت لربها وحقت وإذا الأرض مدت وألقت ما فيها وتخلت وأذنت لربها وحقت يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره فسوف يدعو ثبورا ويصلى سعيرا إنه كان في أهله مسرورا إنه ظن أن لن يحور بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا فلا أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق فما لهم لا يؤمنون وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون والله أعلم بما يوعون فبشرهم بعذاب أليم إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
Translation of the Surah. In the name of God, the most gracious, the ever merciful. When the sky is rent asunder and obeys its Lord's command, and this only is befitting for him, and when the earth is stretched out and casts out all things within it and becomes empty and obeys its Lord, and this is what it should do. O man, you are being dragged relentlessly towards your Lord and are going to meet him. Then he whose record is given to him in his right hand will receive an easy reckoning, and he will go back to his people rejoicing. As for he whose record is handed out to him from his back, he will call for death and shall enter hell. He remained engrossed among his kinfolk. He thought that he would never have to return. Yes, why not? His Lord was fully watching over him. Therefore this is not so. I swear by the glow of the sunset and the night and the objects it envelops, and the moon when it grows full, that you shall certainly ascend gradually. So what has come over them that they are not professing faith, and when the Qur'an is recited before them, they do not fall down in prostration. In fact, those who have disbelieved are denying, and God knows full well what they are accumulating. So give them glad tidings of a painful torment. For those, however, who accepted faith and did righteous deeds, there is eternal reward. Explanation of the Surah. إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. When the sky is rent asunder and obeys its Lord's command, and this only is befitting for it. The new world which will be created after the day of judgment will have new physical laws. The existing world of these heavens and the earth will be annihilated before this happens, as is alluded to in the Qur'an. The words إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ convey the same meanings as the words إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انفَطَرَتْ of Surah Infitar. Today, it is not possible to estimate the nature of this greatest turmoil that will take place in this universe. The Quran has mentioned this upheaval to alarm those foolish and naive people who were very proud of their fortresses and palaces. They were not being able to comprehend how such strong structures would be dented. They are informed that the very heavens and the earth in which they have built their palaces, edifices, fortresses and castles would be destroyed, what to speak of these structures themselves. In the expression وَأَذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, the words أَذِنَ لَهُ mean إِسْتَمَعَ لَهُ, or he accepted what he said, or he obeyed his directive. The words حَقَّ لَهُ mean that it is essential for it to do this. It is befitting for it to carry out this task. The implication is that people should come out of their ignorant attitude of regarding the heavens and the earth as invincible. On that day, they will be reduced to pieces at the behest of their Lord. They will be asked by their God that they will obey Him without any hesitation whatsoever. The words وَحُقَّتْ mean that it is essential for it to do so. When the Almighty has created it, how is it becoming for the sky to disobey its Creator? These sentences are meant to admonish and instruct these conceited elements who were ready to engage in a heated discussion on every point. They are warned instantaneously that the sky will be shattered to pieces at the behest of its Lord, and this is truly befitting of it. The naive, who are only a trivial speck below the sky, should contemplate how the attitude they have adopted can be regarded as correct. They have the false notion that no one would be able to displace them from their places when they would get up to fight God. وَإِذَا الْأَرْضُ مُدَّتْ وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ وَآذِنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ. And when the earth is stretched out and casts out all things within her and becomes empty and obeys its Lord, and this is what it should do. After the skies, a mention is now made of what will happen to the earth. The implication is that whilst today in this world, this earth is uneven, it has many peaks and valleys, highlands and lowlands, seas and mountains, and there are several things which are hidden in its crests and troughs and folds. However, on that day, this earth will be stretched out like a sheet of cloth, and it will expel whatever is hidden in its folds. This reference is specially to raising of the dead, but the style adopted is general. It includes everything that is buried in it, including the treasures of the affluent who are specially addressed in this surah. The expression وَأَلْقَتْ مَا فِيهَا وَتَخَلَّتْ, or and casts out all things within her and becomes empty, also gives the impression that the earth is burdened with all these things, just as a pregnant lady is burdened with the child she is carrying. Consequently, it will feel the same relief in shedding its burden as is felt by a pregnant lady once she has given birth. The verse وَأَذْنَتْ لِرَبِّهَا وَحُقَّتْ, or and obeys its Lord, and this is what it should do, has already been mentioned above. It shows that both the sky and the earth will obey their Lord on that day, and it is only befitting for them to do so. They will show obedience out of their own free will. At another place in the Qur'an, this obedience of the sky and the earth is mentioned thus: فَقَالَ لَهَا وَلِلْأَرْضِ ائْتِيَا طَوْعًا أَوْ كَرْهًا قَالَتَا أَتَيْنَا طَاعِعِينَ. Or, he said to the sky and to the earth, "Come forward both willingly or unwillingly." They replied, "We are here willingly." Surah number 41, verse 11.